Hi, I'm Rob and it's Guild Wars War 3, and today we're up against Hellfire and Brimstone. So let's see what we got in order. Fab 44 is the first opponent, Summer's Fury, Queen Bee, Tina 9000 and the Great Worm. A few things to watch out for in this team. Queen Bee in particular, with that damage and creation of green and brown, means she can loop and loop until you're dead. She also has that cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems, which is really useful. Tina 9000, more true damage, some really nice traits. Deals damage to 3 random enemies and gains armor. And the Great Worm will randomly chuck couple of skulls out every single turn, so we have to be wary of that, because they will often align just by pure flukiness of the way the game works. And does damage to all, but that's really there just for that little pain in the side of that create 2 skulls when my turn begins. Summer's Fury does damage to all and creates 6 red gems, and in Warlord class. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so no negative status effects to really worry about on this in this team, so we don't need Orpheus medals. So I've got 2 times Nishas on and 1 Anu. Not going to use this team, no. Just using one of my cheap teams. I've just had a delicious cheese toasty, so I'm going to continue the cheese theme with a slightly cheesy team. Chalcedony, damage to an enemy, then creates 3 brown gems boosted by constructs. Means she has a chance of looping, because we have 3 constructs in the team altogether. Also reduces damage from skulls by 50%. In case something goes wrong and she pops her clogs at the beginning, we can have a summon here as well as explode gems, which is going to charge up the team. In Geomancer class, all the constructs start with 50% armor. We can have impact. I'll probably change that because I'm not on top. Hammer Mastery, Anti-Magic Sphere, Tactician, Rock Solid, Stone Mastery and Fortitude are all good. So like I say, I will actually adjust that talent tree. Go for Serendipity, give a random ally a random status effect. If you're on top, then impact is good, because they hit you with a skull and basically you can take away the enemy's traits. The tower is there just because it's really handy. Because of the looping potential of this team, inflict a random status effect on a random enemy when an ally casts a spell is really cool. And it's going to create a gargoyle gem. Now, these are actually pretty cool as well, because we do actually change the board a lot, and we do have a explodey troop in the team which will destroy those gargoyle gems and means we benefit from them. The other side, I'm going to double check it in a second, but I'm pretty sure didn't have any way of exploding or destroying gems. So those gargoyle gems will always be in our favour. And Obsidius is there because it stuns all enemies on 4 or 5 gem matches. Can chip in with some damage as well, which is pretty cool. And summons a dust storm when an enemy dies, which is brown. So again, really good stuff for our team. But mainly there for that stun, because basically, just going to double check my banner. +2 brown, +1 purple, ± green is good. So yeah, when we get a 4 match, which we should do pretty quickly, even if we don't get it just by nature of the game at first, that's going to stop Queen Bee's cleanse. Stop those 2 skulls from appearing every single turn, and stop Tina's reduced damage from spells by 50%. So pretty handy indeed. So let's dive in. Looking for brown or yellow right off the bat. Not much going on at first. Let's have a little gander around, see if we can make a 4 match anywhere. I think this makes a 4 match. Drop them green down. No, that's a good start. Look, my eyes aren't tuned into this game yet. I've got it in big screen mode. I play it on the 65-inch telly, way too close. Because I like that for driving games and action games. And I normally put it into a side-by-side mode, where it's basically a quarter of the size, and it makes it a lot more usable or seeable, because you can see the gems better from slightly further back, if that makes any sense. Well, that's my story anyway. And as I've said before, I know I haven't got a witness, and I know I can't prove it, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Well, let's get these 4 matches anyway. Let's give them a wallop for that. We've got a nice string of 4 matches here. So, let's, I was going to take that, but I don't need to. Let's try and get this going with Charles Donny, who didn't loop that time. Alright, so Tina's about to do her stuff as well, which is annoying. Everybody's still stunned. Let's take these 4 matches first. Right, cast Obsidian Libram or cast Obsidiaxis. I keep calling him Obsidiaxis, not Obsidiaxis, it's Obsidius. It's his brother, probably, maybe, in a different life. So let's go with this, I think. Let's destroy this area. Got a nice extra turn out of that. I think we need to take out their Tina before starts doing her casting tomfoolery. We didn't get an extra turn again. That is rare, to say the least. Right, come on then. Let's get some mana back and get this show on the road, hopefully. Right, Chalcedony, stop being grumpy and have the occasional loop. That's the advantage of the tower. You see that inflict a random status effect on a random enemy when an ally casts a spell. Top troop is entangled. Really, really useful. Right, who should we give a slap in the face to next? I think we give Queen Bee her due desserts and say hasta la vista, Beanface. Beanface? Bee-face. Put an N into it to turn him into a bean. Ah, come on. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Got all the concentration right now of a mouldy ninja slipper. And trust me, they do not have a lot of concentration. Alright, so let's get rid of them. And give him a punch in the face and say that'll do. Well, it was a slightly messy victory, but a victory nonetheless. And we've got a total there of 3,258 Guild Wars points. Fight 2 is against the Bronze God era. And we have a Mountain Crusher, the Wild Queen, Flaming Oni, and the Ares. Ares deals a random amount of damage to the first enemy. If they die, explode 8 gems, but quite a heavy mana cost on that, considering it's mana blocked on 2 colours, red and brown. Flaming Oni is mainly there for the summon and the fact it explodes green gems, which is really good for mana gen and gained an extra turn. Wild Queen is the style of the show I would suggest for this. Stealing attack from an enemy, then creating a huge bunch of skulls and green gems. And that is where the key lies in this, trying to do lots of skull damage. In Elementalist as well, so if they get a 4 match, we will be stunned, frozen, burnt, and entangled. They also have Impact, Insulated, Stone Circle. Yeah, the usual set of Elementalist stuff. But we can maybe shut that down quite quickly, hopefully. If we hit them with Impact, that's going to take away the enemy trait. So I'm not going to use this team. What is the team I've got for this? Which is not bad. The fact they're using all brown at the same time actually can work against them in this. When you use a troop like the Grey King, destroys all gems of a chosen colour, and we will choose a brown for this all the time, because all enemies of that colour take, in this case, 70 true damage and are mana drained, silenced, and frozen. So I can do that on brown, knowing that the whole of their team will be affected from that, and I'll take that brown. That brown will feed absolutely straight back into my team, which is going to be really useful, and I'll take a bunch of damage. The Ghost Queen gives all undead a 50% start with mana, which is really cool, and also steals life, which is effectively true damage. And the Daughter of Ice converts red to blue and conjures a Ice Storm, which we don't particularly want, but hey, she's in the team for some reason, and I haven't used this team for a while, but hey, I'll give it a go. Good on Mountain Crusher, exploding a bunch of brown gems, but I've got double niches at the moment. They do have Elementalist class. I am doing a lot of damage with my Grey King, 70 true damage. Let's have a look at their average life. Yeah, so it's going to take 3 casts anyway to kill these, because 270s are obviously 140. Yeah, so there's almost no value to those nicer medals in a way. I'm better off sticking on a couple of Orpheus medals just in case they get some 4 matches. Me grab me prizes. Thank you. So let's just swap these around. Or swap these out even. There we go. Oh, actually, there's no point in having that. Oh, no, either is there? Of course not. Let's change that to a nicer then. Or should we go full on? No, I think we go full on. Yeah, we go full on Orpheus for this. Better safe than dead. Right, back in. Right, so all brown. Same idea. Had the wrong team then. What's going on? Yeah, there we go. Right, so let's roll with this one then. In Geomancer class, this is obviously doesn't benefit from Ghost Queen's undead start. We've got 50% start with Geomancer anyway, as you maybe saw in the last game. But I'm not going to start with Geomancer. I'm going to change that to something which entangles them from the start. They have no cleanse in their team. So I'm going to start with something which gives me a root trap from the start, which is Archer. 15% for skull damage to be lethal. Start battles with 50% is good. So the whole team starts with 50%. And Hunt, yes. Don't think they're relevant. Root trap. Back up. Yeah, it's the root trap that I'm mainly here for this. That's the main thing. Right, so Archer class, that will do. Let's dive in. So we can obviously check this straight away, converting red to blue. Oh, that's for the benefit of the Grey King. And we have it here, you see, so we'll do that straight away. Grey King is already up, and we can feed Brown straight back into our team absolutely straight away by selecting this. We'll choose that, we'll choose Brown. Loads of true damage for them. They got a 4 match, but they're mana drained, stunned, and you know, when you're silenced, you can't collect any mana. It's like such a good spell thing. Spell thing. Nice accurate description there, Rob. Well done, mate. What are we going to do? I think we cast Mountain Crusher, don't we? Unless we can get a double drop down on something like this. Could give a skull whack and collect that flamey stuff. Frozen on brown and purple, not these colours, so we'll grab that first. Have a little bit of that. Grey King's ready again. So to compound their misery, we'll just do that one more time. 2 have died already. And the Wild Queen is not able to go wild because she can't collect any mana. Let's get rid of them. Let's give Flaming only a wallop. Got to get this guy out of the way before it has a chance to summon in more goblins. And that will do very nicely. Thank you very much. So we'll look at the scores on the doors, which say 1,354 points. Next up is 30 minutes. Say, interesting name. Zernabog, a Charltadoni, Emperor Nazara, and Life and Death. Life and Death in Geomancer. Class all constructs start with 50%. Stealing life from the last 2 enemies, death marking them, and blessing itself in last place. So, all brown again, so we can maybe use the same strategy here. Emperor Nazara do quite like this troop. Gives life to all allies, then summons a random kobold, then either gains an extra turn or summons another one. So, Charles Donny, small chance of looping with this. There's only Well, there's three, isn't there? There's three constructs. So yes, still a quite good chance of her looping if she gets going. So, but again, if we get the Grey King charged up quick enough, it shouldn't really matter that much because they can be mana drained, silenced, and frozen. And frozen completely messes up Chalcedony. It's a really good way to battle against Chalcedony. Right, so I think we go with exactly the same team again. Let's just have a look at their life though. Ooh, we can kill these with 2 shots. Yes. Right, oh, let's go with this then. Hopefully we get a brown or a nice Daughter of Ice conversion at the start. Looking good straight away. Red to blue. Thank you very much. That is a sort of thing you say, thank you game. Doesn't always work out like that, but you certainly take it when it does. You take the good with the bad. Right, same as before. We can just chuck this on their brown troops straight away. Pick brown. We're going to benefit from all those brown. And they're basically really messed up already. On a little Guild Wars tip here, if you can avoid it, on the colour days where somebody can pick the Grey King, it's advised to not have all the same colour, especially brown in this case, because it's basically feeding me. It's doing the worst that could happen to you because it's your entire team, and also basically it's on the colour that we like the most because we're going to have an all brown team. So it kind of counters itself in a way. So, but hey, you live and learn in this game. Always good to try new things. Right, so not a lot of benefit to casting our Mountain Crusher. We've only got a few brown at the top, even though we do allegedly have a dust storm going on where brown gems fall more than the other colours. But that's because I've just removed all the brown. So we need to get rid of something from the bottom of the screen, let some more stuff drop down to make more brown appear, hopefully. What should we do? Should we get our Ghost Queen up? Got any double drops anywhere so we get more mana dropping down? Not in particular. So let's just get some of that. I think. Right, I may cast Mountain Crusher now because when they're in the middle, you can get some lucky cascades, especially during a storm. Didn't work out too fantastic, but hey ho, it is what it is. Steal a mana from an enemy, nothing to steal, then steal 65 life. So who are we going to get rid of? It's got to be Charleston, I think. Life and death is under control right now. Yeah, 65 life. See, life and death would have been on 1 life after that. A lot of people think, oh, I should have cast it on life and death, but it should have been left on 1 life, which is like annoying because you still got to hit her again. May as well do it after with the Grey King or something. Right, Xenobog's about to explode and create lots of brown. But too late, because our Grey King is ready to go. And I've pressed the wrong button, you absolute muppet. I can't believe I've just done that. I got distracted by the cat. I'm blaming the cat. Cat's fault for that one. So, okay, let's try that again, shall we? Brown, thank you. Life and Death had some sort of barrier-related doodah. Let's get that 4-match anyway. We've got barrier again, so we'll remove that with this skull bash. But because there's a brown there, and because these skulls aren't going to have any difference apart from remove the barrier, you may as well cast Mountain Crusher, because it's going to destroy this skull here, which is going to remove the barrier. And they're still going to be left on a small amount of health. No, they're not, because we get boosted. We get boosted by this, didn't we? Yeah. Because of the King's Legion. All undead allies gain 2 armor and magic when matching 4 or more gems. So they've got a barrier again, annoyingly. Let's get that barrier gone again and finish them off. And they're on 3 again. What happened there? Anti-magic sphere. So many little things to remember about Guild Wars, but hey, Ghost Queen, do it. Bye bye. Right, another slightly messy victory, just because of my own randomness. But oh, hey, I'm having fun. 1,478 Guild Wars points. Battle 4 is against X. She's Psycho. Is that someone X? She's Psycho? Or is it somebody saying just X? She's Psycho as in referring to themselves? I don't know, but it's a fun name anyway. And She's Psycho 2. Secret Darkwood is an absolute nutter. Dealing damage to an enemy, then creates purple gems boosted by elves. It's an all-elf team, so that'd be the maximum amount. So I can see a Charlestoni versus Secret Darkwood face-off here. Life and Death deals damage to the last 2 enemies. Does the Death Mark and Blessing tomfoolery. All breather stuff, entangling from the start. Creating a Dark Storm from the start, which is good for Secra. And is stealthy, of course. And Arachnian Weaver also stealthy and dishing out true damage and webbing. So you don't want that thing casting, because if it webs my Charlestoni, if I change to that, then the damage she does will be really, really small. King Avalon gives all their elves a 50% start, and also does damage to all enemies and has a summon as well. So, yep, dangerous team. Absolutely need to counter this, I think, with my own a chance at Donny team. Full on cheese. This is mozzarella versus Edam. Hopefully my mozzarella comes out on top. All Geomancer team, all construct, rather. Charlestoni creates tons of brown, does good damage and can repeat the process. Obsidian Libram explodes gems and has a summon in case things go pear-shaped at the beginning. The tower, really, really useful for this. Inflicts a random status effect on an enemy when an ally casts a spell. If just one of them is freeze and it goes on one of the colours that Secret uses, then that will stop her absolutely in her tracks if she got going. And Zernabog creates 10 brown gems and explodes gems, but really importantly, conjures a dust storm when its turn begins. Now you'll notice that Life and Death here had the Dark Explorer create a dark storm at the start of battle, which helps Secra. But because Zernabog creates a dust storm when its turn begins, which is the start of every single turn, that is going to override that purple storm very, very quickly. Right, but is the only thing they got there is Life and Death, which does the negative status effects. 132. Right, I've got full on Orpheus medals at the moment, and they've got that web as yeah. I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to leave it on full Orpheus because potential of web and death mark. I don't want it happening. If we get Lupin first, we should be okay. Famous last words. What we got? +2 brown, +1 purple, -1 green. That is correct. Right. Full on cheese versus cheese. This is a massive cheese pile up. And who's got the most cheese? Right, so there's no freeze with the cheese. She's ready to go, but I'll get rid of some of these yellow first. Right, a nice amount of brown there. So I'm not going to take these 4 matches. You need to leave them there because it helps Charlestoni. So, as much as they're all dangerous, the cool thing about a team like this is, like, you know, who do you deal with first? Like, Secra can loop forever. Life and Death, that cast can kill you and be really annoying. Arachnian Weaver, same. Him, if you don't get rid of him, he can cast and create a summon in one of the vacant slots. So yeah, but I think you deal with Secra first. If you get a 4 match on Skulls, I would ordinarily take that. But yeah, let's deal with her. Let's get her gone. Right, she's out of the way. Still going to take this. Just because it may drop down more brown, because you see the Dust Storm has overridden the storm that they started with. Right, now she is gone. Second main threat is, well, it's actually Arachnian Weaver, but we've got no choice but to actually pick these off in the order which they're there now. Really? As you can see, it loops really, really well. And Charleston can do this even if you're a newer player. So yeah, it's cheesy as heck, but I don't care. I'm here to win games, not make it look flashy. That's the only thing with this. It's going to be stealthy again now until we get rid of that spider again. So it can do that. But we're getting these negative status effects every single time we cast a spell. Look. Really, really good. And so far, they have not had a sniff of a go. Right, I should really get rid of this first, because otherwise, every time I hit their life and death, it's going to bring in a summon. Or a good chance of it anyway. That giant spider. Giant spider, what's it? And the giant spider, what's it, is indeed a terrifying thing. Shall I give him a skull back just for a laugh? I can't remember if they've had a turn yet or not, to be honest. Ah, we'll do it that way. There you go. Oh, what happened there? They got some cheeky dodge tomfoolery. Ah, of course. Oh well, gives us somebody else to kill. Means we killed more enemies. Hopefully that pushes up our points somehow. Cheesy, but it works. And 1,567 points. So yeah, like you don't score as many points with a team like that, which loops and takes a few more turns to get the job done. But if Secret got going, that could be the end of the game straight away. What I just done to them, they would have probably done to me if Secret had just got a single purple match or something like that and got going straight away, and you'd get 200 points for the loss. Much better to get a few points less and do a cheesy win than try and be a superhero and get battered into oblivion, in my opinion. Alright, last battle against the Paragon is versus Demon King Meliodas. Alright, we have Celestial Flask, Centurion Zul'Goth, and Daughter of Ice. Centurion and Zul'Goth, a really, really good combination. Centurion, there's a 10% chance to devour a random enemy, which has a habit of happening in Guild Wars, so you do have to be careful. Then plus, with a plus 10 increase to that for each wild card, then convert all skulls to ×2 wild cards. These generate mana very, very quickly, so is really useful for a troop like Zul'Goth that needs a lot of mana, who then kills an enemy, burns and freezes all remaining enemies, and creates 12 skulls. Daughter of Ice is here. Who said before in the previous team, converts red to blue and conjures an ice storm, starts battles with full mana. But Elementalist class, they're going to start freezing me, no doubt. Yeah, freeze a random enemy at the start. Create a dust storm at the start, which is actually slightly strange for Brown Day. Works in my favour, but they're probably looking at getting their Centurion up. But yeah, on the basis that they've got 3 red troops again, and the other one is Daughter of Ice, this brings me back to my team here with the Grey King. Because I'm using the Daughter of Ice anyway, and a direct counter to a troop like Daughter of Ice is to use it yourself. Because basically, if that red and blue is a good conversion for them at the start of the game, then it's going to be a good conversion for me. So it counters it absolutely naturally. And then if we can get our Grey King up, as before, we can cast it on red. I know we don't use red, but still it's better than nothing. And we can do a lot of damage to their troops. And their life is 119, 100, 106. So just 2 casts of the Grey King are going to be enough. Right, so I'm going to roll with this. I've got 3 times Orpheus is on at the moment, which is still good for Elementalist class. So I think we roll with this team. Archer class, yeah, it's fine for this because we've still got 50% start. They're going to start entangled. If they get to cast Zul, someone will die, but hopefully they'll still be entangled. But hopefully it won't get to that stage. Right, let's rock and roll and hope it goes good. All right, let's take a look at this. Red to blue. We'll take that first. We're not frozen on yellow, so we can take that anyway. There's no red to blue 4 matches right now. And we'll take that as well, because not frozen on that colour, which is really nice. That's got our grey king up. Right, but red to blue, let's take a look. Small amount of value for them, but we can cast our grey king now. Only trouble with that is, these will be silenced. But the red that they get now from Daughter of Ice will feed directly into Zul'Goth. It's not a huge amount right now, but it's still enough. Still enough to make me think that one happening. So I'm just going to give this a extra second's thought. I mean, if they get a mana surge on that, both of those, they'll give them 12 mana straight away. So it'll be a third of the way there, but these will be mana drained, silenced and frozen. The only downside to that is, any of them colours they get next will feed straight into Zul'Goth instead, which means it'll be a race to get the Grey King up again versus their Zul'Goth. Right, but I still think that's the best bet. There's no point put me casting this just yet because my Grey King's ready to cast. So yeah, let's do it. I want to think about this. Let's think about this just for a split second. She uses brown and purple. Basically, I could mana drain her, but not do much damage to the others. No, I still think my original plan is best. Let's hit the red enemies. May get a lucky drop after that. Okay, that worked out okay for me. Right. There's no red there right now, of course. Just remove them all. So that's no good for her. Mountain Crusher will be up if I take this. There's not much brown there. I want to make use of this wild card if I can. Get extra blue. It's going to give me that yellow, which is going to drop down this. I think we take this. They're entangled, so they're doing no damage. You can leave the enemy skull hits as much as you want when they're entangled. The AI does tend to take them. Right, there's a lot of brown there now. I'm more tempted to take the brown and then cast my Mountain Crusher the next round. But we've got red to blue at the top, so you can't say no to that. Every little helps. I'm going to take this one here because they're likely to take that skull hit and they are still entangled unless they get cleansed the following round. That's alright. Let's cast our Mountain Crusher. Grey King is up. They're about to lose all their best troops. Kerboosh. And just the Daughter of Ice is left. Good luck, honey. Right, so what should we do? We have red to blue ourselves, but there's no benefit to that now. She's doing that for like no reason. It's not going to help her at all, so we may as well hit her with a bit of damage. Let's cast Mountain Crusher, and that will do it. Do it on brown. Kerboosh. Another nice countering team that kind of countered what the other team done to a certain degree. Yeah, sort of comfortable day in the end, quite enjoyable. Had to bring out the cheese for one or two of them, but don't be afraid to bring out the Edam. That's what I'll say. It's Guild Wars. You're here to win, not try and be a hero, trying to do it with a spectacular fashion in a flashy team which ends up getting obliterated because you let the other team in. Anyway, 1,684 Guild Wars points. Ghost Queen, that good looking honey thing there was the star of the show. And we ended up with an average sort of 9,341 points, but it's okay. And there it is, there's Guild Wars for today. If you enjoyed it, found the teams useful, anything like that, it'd be really cool if you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching and best luck with your Guild Wars. Bye for now.